Today we're making Dhami for breakfast.
Love, I want the pain. Shimmy up, gon' say my name, cause it don't feel the same when you're not around. The feelings come out. I wish I could say that I figured it out. Got my head in the clouds when I'm feeling down. Now that I know I can figure this out.
Hello guys, so first of all I would like to update that I was finally able to get myself a slot to get my first vaccine shot. So I got vaccinated on Wednesday and I have been trying since this started the 18 plus drive for vaccination to get a slot and finally I was able to get one. I think it is no less than a competition which starts every day at 4 p.m. and then it is over within minutes. Okay, like I kid you not, it does not even take 1 minute, you know. And yeah, every day at 4 I used to log in and try to get myself a slot. Finally I got one, and although the center was a little far, it was in Missouri. Okay for us because me and my brother didn't mind driving that much. It's not actually that far, it's 45 minutes stops. So, and also the weather was pretty nice. It was raining that day, so yeah, it was fun to watch the deserted roads of Missouri after so long. After that, the vaccination process was pretty simple. It was over in 5 minutes. I mean, I got my shot, I came back and then carried out with my work the next day, and the day after that I started feeling a little body ache and a little weakness. The pain was very minor, so I didn't feel like I had to take a day off, so I just went on with my work. But on Saturday I was down with the body ache and like the I don't know, it was mood swing or I don't know, I was feeling really low, so I slept the whole day on Saturday. So yeah, I would highly recommend, even if you're not feeling any symptoms, do not do anything crazy or put your body through a lot, because your body is doing such a great job during this pandemic. And after getting a shot, I think it's okay if you take 1 day off, And also yesterday I came across, this is the diary. Look at the year guys, 2012. So I've written a lot of diary entries in here, and I was reading all of this and I realized that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself that time. Like I was in 12th standard, I was going to give my boards and I was so stressed out, I was so confused. I mean, I feel like I could have used some advice. So I'll read you out one page of this diary. So this was 12:25 p.m. So I say that, well, this year also I have made a resolution to feel confident about myself and do something to save my drowning future by studying a little bit harder. Masti fun to I will have to leave now, because now I am understanding the real meaning of being a 12th as in the student studying in the 12th standard. It's beyond the celebration of farewell and Teachers' Day by wearing beautiful saris. Yes, Aastha. It is beyond that. And being a senior, it means to work harder and choose your career, about which I am still clueless. I really don't know what will happen next year, what is my future, and I even don't have any big dreams. I just want to be a little successful so that I could stand in front of the world with my head held high independently. Wow, that was a mouthful. Little Aastha was at that time, I will call little because yeah, I was little, yeah. I was in 12th standard and I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and I thought this might help someone who might be feeling the same way I was feeling at that time. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. So first thing is pretty basic, pretty simple, but I don't know why I never paid attention to it, and that is that you don't have to be the best, you don't have to be at the top. Like in a class there will be only one topper, and yeah, the topper of your class will obviously have in future like a better chance at having a successful, secure future, like because they were good academically. This might so happen, but that does not guarantee that you won't be able to ever experience success or happiness. That's not it. I mean, your 11th and 12th academic scores won't decide that. I think what would, like, what do I know? I'm 25 and still figuring things out, but what will help is always learning, like not stopping no matter how many failures you get. Like, it's okay if you like fail in physics, as long as you are going back home and trying to get better at the things that you missed. I mean, it's okay, don't pressurize yourself, but just keep getting better. But anyways, when I was getting really bad scores, I stopped doing everything. I was only focusing on studying, and still it wasn't helping me much. So as a result, I was very, very sad. And I don't know why that this is still, not a lot of people know this, that if you're scoring great marks, if you're a topper till 10th, it's not necessary that the same will continue for your 11th or 12th, because it is completely different. And being hard on yourself for not scoring as much as you were, that's so unfair. I mean, according to me at least. I just feel so old giving all these advices, but that's what the video is about today. So let's move on to the second point, like the 12th class Aastha needed to hear. It was that the number of friends someone has, or the number of places they have visited, or how cool their mobile phone is, or things like that, does not actually make one person cool. Like, I always compared myself with all these other kids who had more friends than me, who were more outgoing, who had visited more places than me, they knew much more than me, and I used to think that, I mean, where do I stand? I used to keep comparing, and I think everyone does it, and this won't matter in the long run. It's okay if they have better things. That does not mean that you cannot actually be cool, because that is not the only thing that makes you cool. All those are like, they don't matter seriously in the long run. I don't know why I was so concerned about things like that. So there's this quote. I don't know how many of you have watched this series called One Tree Hill. So me and my friends were a huge fan in 11th, 12th. We used to watch this show a lot, and there was this one quote in that series. It was, people always leave, and I don't know, when I read that quote, I went crazy with it. I felt like I could resonate with it, because you see, my dad had a transferable job, so I didn't stay anywhere for more than 2 or 3 years, and I realized that I couldn't maintain contact with any of my friends. So wherever I shifted, I always felt like I was alone and I didn't have anyone in my life. Obviously I had my family, but you want friends, right, at that time. So I felt like everyone leaves me, and that sounds so cheesy when you say out loud. I think when you're young, you don't see this, that it's a part of life. Yes, people will leave, and that's okay. If someone leaves, it's for the best, because when people leave, some other people will fill the gap. They will come, and even if they don't, it's okay. You will have yourself. I mean, let them leave if they're leaving. I'm sure they taught you something. I'm sure they were there for a reason, and now they're gone. Don't hang on to it. Like I got so desperate to keep all the friends that I had in 11th 12th. Like I was being super nice, I was being, you know, someone I was not. I really tried to fit in. I mean, I didn't try that much but I know I tried, and tried to a point where in my diary, half of my diary is filled with things that actually sounds really sad now, because like she was really trying hard to be recognized as, you know, someone who gels into the crowd. Both part is financially speaking. So I was always proud that whenever I asked my parents for money, they used to give. I never asked for pocket money, and I was proud of that back then. And now I think I was so stupid. I mean, I feel money management is a skill that should be developed as you're growing up. So if you don't have money, if you don't know what's the use of it, how to use it, how to save it and actually earn money, so it's going to get difficult, you know, when you finally start earning. For example, I never managed my money until 2017 when I started with my internship. So that was the first time I was getting paid, and when I got my salary, I didn't know what to do. It wasn't that much, okay, it was very less, but still I was so happy. Like I was like, oh my god, I got this money, what should I do, where do I spend it? And spend was the first thing. Save, invest, kya hota hai? I wasn't interested, I didn't know what was it. And yeah, I actually, the 2 years that I have been working, I did not even make a single investment because I was too scared to take any risks. The process is really simple now. You have so many apps to do it, and like you are anyway going to spend that 2,000 3,000 in stupid things, so why not like set aside some of that amount and, you know, try to invest it. And that's such a simple thing to say, but for people like me who had never dealt with money, this seems like a huge deal. This seems like a huge risk that we are not happy to take. That no thanks, I am keeping this money. I do not care if it's not growing. If I could put this to better use, no thanks. I want my money on my bank account. It's just sitting there, but I want that there. So that's how I was. And thank God that finally my brother forced me into investing. And I think it's good if you ask for a little amount, or even, you know, start working in places like McDonald's, and for like as a delivery boy or like a receptionist and all those things. Like in India, I know it's difficult because society makes a huge deal out of it that, oh, unka ladka to delivery kar raha hai, like why? And it's actually sad because bahar this is not there. Like they start earning in a very young age, which helps them a lot and makes them financially literate dheere dheere in a long run. So yeah, that's all for the Katie session for today. All this being said, I still want to make it clear that all these things I'm still working on. I'm 25 and I'm still working on it, and because I started so late, I think it'll take more time to understand all these things. There are so many other things that I have learned, and I'm not perfect obviously, so please do not come DM me asking for career advices and life advices right now, because I am as confused as you. These are just some things that I have learned from my experience that I wish I knew earlier. So yeah, I hope this helps.
Time's gonna take off. Lost and found, that's what we are. City lights in plastic cars. Tiny people, giant stars. We don't care about what we find. We just need each other's time. Young and reckless by design. I find my peace of mind. 'Cause I don't wanna keep on waiting.